Hey guys, welcome to today. Today we're going to be doing site plans. So there's not going to be a whole lot of talking from me. I know what you're all thinking. Thank the Lord, finally, this bloke's going to shut up for a bit. But you just follow along what I'm doing. I'll explain the key points as to what's going on. We've got a few things we have to detail on this plan. This plan is just to show where the house is sitting in relation to its neighbours and on the block. So the council specified to us, hey, you've got to set the house back from the street so far. We've got to sit back from the rear fence so far and from the sides. Okay, so what I'll do first is take this title block. So just copy it across somewhere so we can use it. And copy this one down. It's the same plan. This time we just don't have all the annotations on there. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start locking some things. I'm going to lock what I want. All I want is the house outline, the boundaries, and some parts of the street. And then I'm going to take the neighbours. So just follow along for this and it'll be okay. Taking the house. Taking the boundary. Taking the road name and taking the street. Also taking the driveways. So I locked all the ones that I want, select it all, move by a known value. Just unlocking everything. That's a different boundary, cool. Now, deleting the things that I don't need. I don't need any of this annotation. Don't need these internal lines here. This is the driveway. The rest of it's all like the footpath. The other thing that I can see is all these little dots, which are from the contours, which is going to annoy me seeing. Alright, we'll give up on that. Checking to see if there's anything that I've missed. And not by the looks of it, we're okay. Just getting rid of these stupid little red dots. I've got 2 lines here. Oh, I've got a few lines here. That's okay. So, okay, they're all falling, it's okay. I'm just going to reselect these. Alright, so this is my site plan, just where my house is sitting. A few other things that I need is I need where my neighbours are on the block. So where do I find them? I grab them from here. So all my neighbours, copy from a known point. Don't need this one here, it's on the rear boundary. All the others I'm going to need. So let's start with, draw some polylines around here. I know I've missed a line. It's better. There is a reason for this, by the way. I haven't just lost my mind, just in case you're wondering. Hatch, angle, I've got a scale of 5000 here. If you're using the template, there is one already in the template that you can just match your properties from. Delete the polylines we've just drawn. So what we're just showing is, hey, we've got some neighbouring blocks here, just have a look. Next thing I need to do is hatch my house. Hatch. The reason why I'm doing the main house in separate hatching, because I might need to move these around individually, whereas these ones I've done them all at once, so all of them come together as one. There's one thing that I've missed, and that is my floor levels. So let's go grab them. I need these. So I've got double up of lines here. Just gonna fix that whilst I'm, sorry guys, give me 1 second. Okay. Hatch. Let's go by an internal point. Now, this hatching shouldn't be running through here, so let's trim it. Enter. See how I can't trim the hatch? So picking internal point here would have fixed it. Or what we can do is move it by 10. And move it back by 10. Once you repeat it, the hatch will let us cut it. So this is the basics of our site plan. what we need to do is we've got a concrete perimeter we have to put around. So what they'll do is they'll pour the driveway and they pour a meter perimeter around the outside of the house. The reason for that is this concrete falls away from the dwelling, so there's no water that pools or sits next to the house. What we try not to do is have any water falling close enough that can come under our foundations and make the clay particles shrink or swell and just crack the house. So that's why we have a concrete perimeter around it. It's part of the National Construction Code. We can get away with 900. So if you measure your boundaries, these ones here are 900 opposed to a meter, and that's okay. So what I need to do is I'm going to take a rectangle from here to here. We don't usually put it around the alfresco. But what we might do in this case, what I'm thinking is if you're walking along this path, you will then hit grass and come up. So let's make it so you'll come to about halfway, you can come straight up. So let's move it up to the midpoint. That's not a closed shape, so let's close that in as well. And then obviously the driveway. I'll do it on one. So what I'll do is I'll work on this side here. You guys can work on this side here. Hatch. So you guys will need to do both of these. Trying to find the hatch. You guys also have the hatch in the template file for this perimeter. Just trying to find it in here. No, it's okay. We can use this one. By the way. Alright, so that's our all concrete here. Alright, what's next? Well, I have to put in some labels as well. So I'm just going to use this one here for now. So again, I can't trim in here, so I have to do the same thing with this hatching. And trim it. So you can do this one, you can do the same up here. The porch, because this porch is so small, if I try to put the text on there, it's just not good presentation. So I might just leave it out here, and I can use a multi-leader to point to it. So you can alter the properties here. Okay, so we can show where the porch is. What's next? We have to put in a few different things as well. So I've got from here to here. Oh, sorry. Aligned. It's on an angle from this point to this point. Select the text. So what we can do in here is we can alter all the properties of the obviously of the measurement. We can rotate, we can change all kinds of things in here, but we can also in here we can override the text. We can do that, or we can double click it. That will work as well. So if we double click it, we can actually type. So I can type in here boundary. Okay, so this is one boundary, and you guys can repeat the same for all the other ones. You also need the internal one in here. Internal one, you only need the one for the 2 blocks. The outsides are all individually because it's a subdivided block. And that should be in meters. You guys can do the same on this block here. And now we can start putting in some measurements as well. So the linear. So the measurements that I care about is the ones that I'm after. So I need to know from the back of the dwelling. Let's put it straight. We need to know from the alfresco to where they intersect. That's from there to there. Cool. Need to know from here to here. From here to here. So this covers my rear setbacks. Sometimes this one from the alfresco up isn't important. And usually what we try to do is we try to show the maximum. Okay. So there's a bit of finesse with this. There's a bit of not manipulation. There's a bit of leeway here. So what you would generally try to do is show from here to here, because it's the highest point, showing a greater setback. If you wanted to, you could show all three. So you could show how it moves down, but it's up to you. Usually we attempt to either try and grab the greatest one, depending if we're really close to the requirements, if we need to gain a little bit of extra room, or quite simply you can take just this one here. A few things you need to do is, before I have typed over the text, boundaries, it's okay. Other measurements, it's not okay. So these ones here, usually we won't show this. We will show 9220, we'll round it up. So we can do that in here in the settings. Where are we? The round off here. So in these here, we can show precision levels. But if I round this up to nearest 1, it's not going to do anything. Nearest 5, nearest 10. Okay, so just change the round off in here. Change the scale. If I want to change the scale of that measurement to 2, it doubles it. Likewise, 0.5, it halves it. So you can alter things in here. This comes in handy, especially if we scale this drawing down by 2 to get it to a scale of 1 to 200. Currently it's in 1 to 100. All of our scales, all of our measurements will cut in half. So we can alter them to be scaled up in the properties. So we've got them. That's our rear setback finished. This one here and that one. Next is the front. Things I really care about for the front is I care about from here to here. And I care about my driveway setback from here to here. So again, usually I'm not going to show it like that. I'll apply the same thing. Let's round this one up. Nearest 10. And likewise here. Your house might not be sitting in the same spot as mine, and that's okay. Your measurements, will be slightly different. That's fine. Just make sure it's the same procedure. So we've got that. This measurement here, I can't see. Can't trim it either. So what do? Well, first let's put that there. So just opening it up so I can actually read that measurement when I print it on the paper. And that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot that comes into the site plan. You'll do the same on this side, and then we'll put it to the, onto a sheet. So let's copy this one now. Let's move it up onto our sheet. Now the only other thing that comes in is just the presentation. So these plans here are not difficult, but please make sure you do repeat all of this for this drawing here. The only other thing that you'd put in is maybe any trees or gardenscapes and things like that. But for now, let's just tidy it up presentation wise. So this one tends a bit excessive. Where am I? Text. Boundary here's got a bit of clashing with it. So again, in the properties, oh, not that way. Where are we? There's a button to flip it. Just have to find it now. No, not that one. This is our text override here, by the way. So if I can type in whatever I want in here, and it will change it. But why did I do that? I don't remember what it was. It was boundary. Was it 9.87 meters? It's okay. I'll work it out. I'll find the button and let you guys know in class. I just don't remember where it is on here. No, determined to find it. Let's have a look. Vertical. That's what I want to change. It's locked. It's not very nice. -5 won't push it down either. Okay, it's alright. We'll leave it there. I'll look at it tonight and I'll let you guys know tomorrow how to flip that to the other part of the line. For now, I'm just going to move it down out of the way. It's not working. That's alright. We'll fix this later. Okay. So match properties for this one. Here, 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 and here. Fixing up the hatch now, so I can read these numbers. bit better. So repeat the same on this house here, showing the two boundaries. And there's okay. And now we start with our annotations. So you will have the same annotations on both blocks. I will do one side, you guys can do the other. So here, this is a 1 point. Let's make it so you can see it. So he's from neighbor, Nathan. And it's very small. Doing really well. Sorry guys. 5. It's not big enough. It's a bit better. Let's make this arrowhead, say 300, it's bigger so we can see it. Let's make this maybe 1000. See how that looks. Nope, still going. That's better. So we got a good year, good neighbor fence at the back. You'll have one here as well, along that boundary. What other annotations do we usually show? Really, that's about it for the fencing side of things. We've got a fence, you got one on this side as well, so you have to show another one here, another one at the back. The front, we can assume there's no fences for now, it's up to their selection. So there's really not a whole lot that goes into these plans. The next things that we need to show is we just need to show a couple of annotations and a couple of measurements. So what we have is, I'll steal these to start off with. Let's chuck it over here. So first things that I have the plan. Okay, just looking at the height of this text, I just need to make it a bit bigger. Better. Cool. Let's copy another one straight down. everything as standard. All these notes are pretty general. We're just putting them on here again to kind of protect us. Really can't spell comply. And BCA. BCA, Building Code of Australia. It is now the NCC, the National Construction Code. Relevant Australian standards. Right, just a couple of notes to get us out of trouble. The next thing that we need, we've got 2 more things we have to put on here and then we're done. We need to just show a table of contents for the areas and our north. So we've got our north, so I can take that across, show it there somewhere, and now I need to put in a table. So where it's going to be a good table, we can just create one. It's alright, we'll create one. Use a bit of text, let's steal this one. So what are we putting in here? Well, we're going to put in the proposed site areas. Delete that for now. Let's copy this across to here. What's it measured in? Alright, well, we're measuring it in meters. We got a subscript 2. No problem. So all of our symbols are in here. Squared, that's what I want. So we're measuring it in meters squared. The other thing we should note is, well, we've got 2 lots, lot 1, lot 2. So this proposed site area here is I'm going to take for lot 2. You guys will need to do both lot 1 and lot 2. What you're going to find is they're going to be pretty identical. Alright, now I've got these. Let's copy it out. So my first one here is the actual site area. So the site area is the area within the boundaries. So what I can do, polyline from the boundary lines I've taken that like an idiot, so let's not use that one. I'll come back over here and just measure it from here. So remember, it was split in the midpoint, so I'll get the area from here, so I don't get any clashes. Let's see, utilities, measure area, down on the keyboard, so I can click an object and select this one. So it gives me the area in millimeters. So if I multiply this here, to get it down, I end up with 376.2 square meters. So what I have here is I have 376 meters squared. It's my site area. What comes next? I have a few other things. Well, few things council care about is they want to know my living area, or my living area even. They care about my private open space. Or POS. They care about my garage. They care about my alfresco. They care about my porch. And last but not least, what they also care about here is my total footprint. Alright, so these here is what council is concerned with. Other thing I need to do is I need to change this here. This isn't a drainage plan. This is quite simply a site plan. And I now need to go find all this information. So what have I got? Well, let's tidy it up. First site area, my site area is done. My living area is effectively just this area in here, neglecting the porch, garage, alfresco. So what I can do is I can come back to my utilities and measure, object, and I've got this polyline here, so 159.2. This is where our polylines and dividing it up becomes very useful. So it was 159.2 square meters. My private open space, this one's a bit tricky. We can include the alfresco in this. What council's after is an area of space, so it's a percentage of, usually it's the backyard, it can be any courtyard, you cannot include the porch or the front yard, where you've got a bit of outdoor arrangement here. So what we can do is we take the alfresco and the yard from here to here. All of that area is our private open space. So I draw a polyline around, making sure I'm grabbing the correct points this time. So I get 88.5. If you were confined and you needed, say, 90, or you needed a bit more, you could effectively take through here. Alright, to get you a little bit more space if you had to. Realistically, this little patch of concrete here isn't going to make a big difference. It's not really private open space, but if you had to, you could include it. So that gets us 90.8. Alright, so that helps. That will get us over, you know, say a 20% margin or whatever it is that the council is asking for. So we can use that. So that 90.8 is this one here. I might round that up to 91. Garage is the area in here. Garage is this area here. So 26.1. Alfresco is just the area at the back here. So 19.2. The other thing that we can do with the private open space, because council usually ask for it, we can take as a percentage of the site area. Alright, so let me just grab a calculator and work that out. What we're going to have is we're going to have 91 divided by 376 times 100, so I get 24.2%. So this is 24.2%. Just showing the proportion of the private open space. This is a key factor for council requirements. Let's come through, measure the porch. So the porch is this area in here, which I haven't drawn a polyline around. So you guys can draw a polyline around it. And that's going to be, I think it's 2.4 meters. Oh. Then what we do is basically just add all the areas up except the private open space. So we'll add the porch, al fresco, garage, living area. Add that all together and you should get something like that if you add it up. So 3, 5, 9, cool. Yep, that should be the number. Do that one, and then do what we like to do, draw a little box around it, and then repeat the same for the other lot. So you'll have lot 1 next to it. So if I move that up, so then you guys will repeat the same thing for lot 1. And that finishes our site plans. Right, so not really a whole lot of work into it. We've done the main hole with the rest of it. This is just showing the building. This is one of the easier plans that we have to come up with, whereas the site drainage is much more complicated. But to submit to council, what do you need? You need your floor plan, your elevations. You need your site drainage, and a site plan. Site plan is also known as a civil plan or a civil works plan. In here, if you have any retaining walls, you will note where retaining walls are. You've got a few different other things in regarding to the site that you might have to add. In our case, because our levels are the same, we've got 200 mil difference that we can get up to without the use of retaining. Once we surpass that, we have to put retaining walls in. But these are the plans that have to go to council for you to get your planning approval. So thanks guys. The next video will be on using the layout function here and creating basically these title blocks into the layouts and printing from there. Next week is your exam, so please study up, cover all the things. Tomorrow in class I will give you some tasks to go through in a sample exam. Please make sure you're on top of it. And yeah, then we move on to Revit. So this is the last session of CAD. From here on out, we move on to the Revit software. Thanks guys.